One time I had a patient who was a fisherman over here in Galveston, about 3 or 4 of his buddies. All the average age must have been 75, 80, cute little guys. And this guy had to have a pacemaker. Well, about 2 or 3 months, he came with a big old smile. Thanks, Dr. Garcia, I love you, you're great. Right, it was just a pacemaker, it was just a light switch, you know, heart slow's not good. Yeah, but my sexual activity came back, and man, I'm great. My 3 buddies that fish with me, they want a pacemaker too. No. I don't do that. You have to go to someone else. I do it if you need it for your heart. Yeah, they really, sometimes patients kind of push the envelope, if you know what I mean. Another one is high-dose calcium blockers, again, vasodilators. The most classic one is Norvasc, but you can also use Procardia and anticoagulants. Now that's that article you saw there from Cleveland Clinic, gives you the 3 newer ones, Daxa and the other ones. But these are the ones that you'll see on TV, on cable TV. They're all over the place. And at the very end, that guy that's talking real fast, and that's the one that's saying, and you call Dr. Garcia. But you don't hear it, right? Well, they don't want you to hear it. They want to sell it, and they want the patient walking into the doctor's office. Well, you know, I saw this thing, and I really want to try it. No, I really do not like it. Diuretics is another one. It's kind of old-fashioned, and some of the older vasodilators, sometimes you have to go. And then also, the most common one is oxygen. You give the patient the oxygen for treatment, right? We want them to feel better. That's our goal. Do no harm and try to help them feel better. There's 2 last things which are pretty aggressive, which is atrial septostomy. In other words, we do open heart surgery, we create an opening between the right atrium and the left atrium, so that way this pressure comes back and we decompress the lungs themselves. Anything to help the right side of the heart. And finally, the last one would be transplantation. And if you have poor pulmonale, in other words, the right side is failure, usually it's a heart-lung transplant. And for those of you who don't know, a heart-lung is actually a lot easier technically to do than just a cardiac or just a lung. After you do the heart-lung, it's pretty straightforward. And the only thing you have to deal with, of course, is the anti-rejection medications and any other problems the patient has. The last thing I'm going to tell you, and we'll be finished on time, as I promised you, is lifestyle. You know, everybody's into this alternative issues. It's very important to keep in mind this is what the patients are looking for. And it's the same common sense stuff that we all know. If they're short of breath, get rest. If they have a disease process, it's wise to do a little exercise. But I get tired. Still, it's wise to get in there to the gym and use a trainer. That's what they're for. These kinesiologists have studied the human body. They know how much they can push. They know what they're trying to accomplish. And it's amazing when you work with a kinesiologist, a trainer who's properly certified. I highly recommend him, and I prefer all my patients over here to the 24-hour fitness. Why? Because it's cheaper, and there's the incentive. You have other people there. And next news you know, you're migrating to your group, make friends about your age group and so forth. And then like the girls, they like to look at the guys, and the guys like to look at the girls. Well, those of us who go there for a reason, they're there to work out, to do your job. But you can take a little peek on the other side. Don't smoke. If I could do anything on this planet, it would be a legacy for humankind. You and I need to invent some sort of widget that can help people stop smoking. I've dealt with this for 33 years in private practice, and I got to tell you, it is one of the most difficult things. And we know now those companies actually laced the tobacco to make them addicted to this stuff. And who are they doing it now? All the third world countries, and especially our children. I mean, it's just awful what these guys are up to in terms of trying to make it up. So if we can invent a widget to help our patients stop smoke, that would be great. In childbearing women, do not get pregnant. This is a very serious disease, and it can be actually life-threatening. So either get your tubes tied or use birth controls. You can try to avoid as much as possible, not get pregnant. Avoid traveling to high altitudes. I've actually had a colleague of mine who went to his place. He thought he'd be all right, and he went to Estes Park and wound up with a stroke. He actually wound up with strokes up in these high countries. Avoid excessive play areas that can lower your blood pressure, such as has hot tubby. That's not good. You can actually die with pulmonary hypertension. Avoid stress, and if you can incorporate stress management, that would be the best of all worlds. And Tai Chi, transcendental meditation, prayer, karate, power nap, whatever it takes, 15, 20 minutes. And I would encourage for all of us, especially in the healthcare industry, with the changes that we're going through and the stresses that we're going through, to try to take a 15 or 20-minute break sometime halfway through your shift to just kind of decompress a little bit. Eat nutritious food, fresh fruits, fresh legumes, fresh meats if you're into meat. If you're into vegans, watch out for salt. Watch out for these saturated fats. They're everywhere. I often think of salt as God. It's everywhere. It's very difficult to eat a salt-free diet. And so that's pretty much it. You know, when you first hear this whole concept of pulmonary hypertension, you start thinking, gosh, it's something really esoteric. Well, actually, it's just basic common sense. Once you understand the definition, once you understand it's something that's causing the obstruction of the arteries, everything comes back. It all makes sense. The symptoms of shortness of breath and all the symptoms we talked about. The causes, the reference to genetic, something that goes in there that causes this. The risk factors, these people who, especially with the secondary pulmonary hypertensions, you can start making that diagnosis. The complications which we mentioned, and then of course the testing that we do, all the different ways that we can do it, including the white blood cath, and then making the correct diagnosis, and then treating, like for example, with Flolan and these other vasodilators. And finally, lifestyle adjustments. We can't cure it. You would think with what we can do with a computer, how many websites was it? A bunch? I mean, with the things that we can do, we put men on the moon. We have this spaceship, this lab that's going on. We've invented all kinds of things. New ways of developments that are occurring in technology, healthcare, and all other computer science and so forth. We still don't have a cure for pulmonary